Standing room only.
Call to order the Ashland Board of Commissioners meeting for Thursday, October 12th, 2023. We'll start with an invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Lord, we ask your Holy Spirit to enter our chambers and to preside over our meeting. We thank you for our city, Ashland, Kentucky, and we ask you for your divine wisdom and guidance over this Board of Mayor and Commissioners as we strive to make the right decisions and in the best interest of our city and its citizens. Bless our city manager, our staff and employees, and those in attendance today. We also ask to lift up the nation of Israel today and pray for peace. We ask you to bless our proceedings now in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Let's stand. Gentlemen, please uncover and salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have a motion to receive and file the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We have a motion to receive and file the minutes for the regular meeting held on August 24th, 2023, the regular meeting held September 14th, 2023, and the regular meeting held on September 28th, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioners, we have a full agenda today, and I'm going to just offer a brief welcome to everyone here today. It's a big day. It's a good day, and we're excited to see so many of you here. But I will turn it over to our commissioners for a brief welcome. Commissioner Goot.
I just want to welcome everybody. We have a full house, and we have a lot on the agenda. Just want to make mention Firkin Fest is this Saturday, and it's always a good event. And Polk Landing Days was a real success, and really that's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Spriggs.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to say hello to everybody, too. It's good to see so many people coming to a commission meeting. And in the sake of brevity, that's it.
Commissioner Blanton.
Just want to say thanks to everybody who reached out with condolences. My grandpa passing away, my family really appreciates that. Latin Night was a huge success. Thanks, Visit AKY, for all your work. And the fire department was featured there also, and we appreciate your all's work during that event also, and your own event. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Clark.
Welcome, everyone, and let's move on.
Okay. All right.
I would like to make mention one thing. I'd like to close the meeting in memory of Clyde Blanton, Josh's grandfather.
Okay.
He was a
We will
great
do
member of
so.
this community, a great veteran, and member of ARMCO and AK. So I would like to close it in his memory.
Very nice.
We will do that. City Manager.
Mayor, would you like to move on to the other three events before I go into my comments?
We can, sure. I think I've got this. We can go with that. Okay. Would the family of Captain David Miles come forward, please, with Captain Miles? All right, and all right. Do I need to move up front? Okay. You ready? Captain David Miles began his employment with the City of Ashland on December 30th, 2013. It wasn't long after that that Dave was promoted to engineer on February 17th, 2019. Through hard work and diligence, he was recently promoted to captain on June 25th. He's assigned to the 3rd Platoon, Engine 1. Dave and his family reside in Westwood. Pending Captain David Miles will be his aunt, Susie Kings. Hang on just a second. You got a note, sir. We're not done. You're gonna turn to me. There you go. Raise your right hand. Do you, Captain David Miles, solemnly swear to continue to serve the citizens of the City of Ashland in your new capacity in a compassionate manner with courage and integrity? Yes, sir. To put others before you and to accept the sacrifices needed to serve our community? And do you swear to uphold the law and Constitution of the United States and the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the city of Ashland, so help you God? All right, now you can pin.
Sorry, Jim.
Got it. Up next, Cameron Thomas and his family. Firefighter Cameron Thomas began his employment with the city of Ashland on August 13, 2019, and transferred to the fire department September 26, 2022. He's obtained certification as a firefighter and driver operator for the Ashland Fire Department. His assignment is to the 1st Platoon Engine 1. Cameron and his wife Danielle currently reside in Raceland, and she will be pinning him today. All right, you ready? Raise your right hand. Do you, firefighter Cameron Thomas, solemnly swear to continue to serve the citizens of the city of Ashland in your new capacity in a compassionate manner with courage and integrity?
Yes, I do.
To put others before you and to accept the sacrifices needed to serve our community? And do you swear to uphold the law and Constitution of the United States, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the city of Ashland, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Ken.
How about for these gentlemen in this great group? Okay, now, city manager's report.
Got a couple special visitors with us today, and we'd like to start with Miss Norman Meek, and she's got some information she'd like to present to us today.
First, I'd like to say thank you for having me, and I'd like to extend my appreciation to City Manager Mike Greasy and to Chris Polo of Economic Development, who met with me earlier in the week and taught me a few things. I'd also like to apologize to Mayor Matt Perkins and Commissioner Cheryl Spriggs because they have to listen to me one more time. They've already heard me. But something very special is on the horizon, and it all has to do with this beautiful city of Ashland. Daffodil Spectacular is coming to Ashland in March 2024, and it promises to be, by our committee of 9, spectacular. Now, originally, I don't want to take credit for this idea. It was not mine. Clark Wiley is a resident and lives on Forest Avenue, never in our community very long. He's always on the road. But if you've ever met Clark Wiley, you will never forget him, right, Susan? He came to me with this idea and said, I would love to do a daffodil festival. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to raise the money, but I want to do it. Well, having a lot on my plate, I thought about it, and I said, at this stage of my life, I only want to work on projects with 5 key words: peace, beauty, love, tranquility, and serenity. If you can let me plan something for the city of Ashland around those 5 terms, sound like an angel. If you can let me plan something around those 5 words, then I'm in. So he agreed, and we picked handpicked a committee of 9, wonderful, wonderful working committee, and we were off and running. So you're saying, why, if it's not till next March, why are you here now? Well, you have to plant the bulbs now. So 20,000, well, actually more than 20,000, are coming to Ashland, and we're going to put them down at Ashland Milling Company because we have a loading dock, and we'll be distributing them next week for planting. And they'll be all over Ashland, and we're going to create beautiful meadows of yellow. Now, we have a meadow of yellow in Central Park and have had for several years. You have no idea how many people are always remarking to me, being on the park board, how that's a great photo op for their grandchildren and their children. And I noticed, Josh, that you had your son down there taking pictures and posting them last year. And Carrie Tagg just emailed me the other day and said, Anna Tagg, my daughter, has grown up at Central Park every year. I have a record of her in those daffodil pictures every single year. So we're going to provide lots of opportunities. The first year, we're going to have 7 meadows of yellow. So we needed money to do this, of course. So Susan and I wrote some grants. We've talked to a lot of people. No one has turned us down. Marathon will be doing a meadow of yellow at the Ashland Tennis Center, that wonderful place where the Christmas trees are sold, so that everybody going out of our city and coming into our city every spring will have the luxury of looking at that beautiful spot. Ashland Community College is doing one. The Dutchbury Park will be doing one. Broadway Square, the 3 squares, right down from the stage area will be doing one. The signs when you enter Ashland says, "Welcome to Ashland," we'll plant there. We'll plant the mall sign. We're going to plant at Catlettsburg in the middle of the town. We will choose a neighborhood every year called a Neighborhood Meadow of Yellow. This year, Bradley Drive will be spotlighted. Their citizens have already raised all the money in Bradley Drive for their Meadow of Yellow. So why are we doing that? In 10 years, I hope that we will have 70 meadows of yellow in Ashland. And not only in downtown, but people will shop here. They'll eat here just like they drive around at Christmas around Central Park and look at the trees. They'll go into our neighborhoods and see what a blessed community we have. We're going to really put Ashland, I think, on the map. Another thing, I've been doing some research, and I found out that people who have tranquility in their life and have beauty not only operate better, but it promotes brain function. And I sure need that at this age, so I'm hoping for that. Now, Mrs. Wixom was actually responsible for the first, I want to give her credit, Meadow of Yellow in Central Park. And we'll probably be honoring her during the week. Good. We're not calling it a festival for 2 reasons. We have a lot of festivals in Ashland. I love festivals, they're great. But it denotes food trucks, and it denotes like jumping things for kids, and it denotes crafts and arts, all the beautiful things that we do with our festivals. What we're going to do is something entirely different. We'll have a peace walk around Central Park complete with a band. A full band will be leading the walk. It'll all be free to the public. We're going to have every after-school program in the city and the county. We'll do a unit, a biology unit, a botany unit on plants and seeds. They'll all plant daffodils in their yards. We're asking citizens to come on board. We're going to have Easter bunnies. We'll have a schedule all week of Easter bunnies in each meadow for photo ops. And we also have an Esther bunny, the wife of the Easter bunny. Those costumes are being made as we speak. We're opening up a haberdashery for a month right after Valentine's Day. at the museum, and we will be serving spirits, maybe. I shouldn't say that, but we'll be serving tea, and ladies can make appointments and come in. And we have over 200 hats that have already been brought. And the lady that owns Nordstrom, not owns it, but she was the jewelry maker for Nordstrom in New York, is coming and set up shop, and she will be designing hats for people to wear to our formal royal high tea, which you've never seen anything like this tea is going to be, right, Susan?
Especially if there's spirits involved.
Well, for a royal high tea, just to clarify, you must have spirits involved.
Okay, gotcha,
You must have
gotcha.
champagne and blush wine and macaroons and macarons. And Clark Wiley, I want to tell you another thing about Clark Wiley in case you don't know him. He served on the Air Force One with President Reagan and Nancy. And he helped her create the famous Nancy Reagan cheesecake. And if you've never eaten that cake, you're going to have an opportunity at this royal high tea. We've had a contractor already in who's going to transform the museum, the 4th floor. We've ordered 10 enormous crystal chandeliers, 500 pounds of draped material. It's going to be spectacular, like I said. It's for men and women. On Saturday will be the children's tea. On Sunday will be the adult tea. We also have a daffodil princess. Well, she's not really a princess. She's a fairy, a daffodil fairy. I don't know if you all knew it, but there is such a thing as a daffodil fairy, which I learned. The lady that's coming from Cincinnati to be the daffodil fairy just won a style award and was presented a huge accommodation in London, England last week. Now you're saying, where did all this money come from? A lot of it came from private sources all over the country. People that want to see this city succeed in our Daffodil Springtacular. So, what do I want from you? I don't want any money this year, which is unusual for me. But if you're moved to tears or something like that, I wouldn't turn it down. But I would like to have you think about some city workers. I've never planted a daffodil my entire life. I was told it was real easy by all the people from the Southern Hills Garden Club. And Susan has blisters she showed me this morning from trying to plant. We have city workers, community workers, right, Susan, who are going to participate and help us. But we've got lots of volunteers, but we could really use some city workers if we really see that we're running behind and we really desperately need your support but all of this is going to enhance Ashland. Any questions?
Well, first off, Norma, on behalf of our board and our city, thank you for your continued efforts to beautify our community, and you spent so many years educating children and continue to do so, and I know the good work that you do there as well. We are honored to be a partner. In fact, today, as a result of your being here to talk to us about this, the municipal order has been placed on the agenda for the board to consider. And we look forward to seeing you out there with those daffodils. And I know the fire department's probably sweating it now. They see there's so many of them here. They could be helping. But overall, we also need to thank the citizens throughout the country that don't know us, but have a big enough heart to send money this way to help our city be even better. So thank you all. We appreciate your time. And during Norma's speech, I was reminded, because of the alarm, that we have a proclamation today also. which I'll read at this time. Whereas the City of Ashland is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting our state, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at greatest risk from fire, and whereas home fires kill more than 2,800 people in the United States in 2021, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 338,000 home fires. And whereas cooking is the leading cause of home fires in the United States, and fire departments responded to more than 166,400 annually between 2016 and 2020. And whereas 2 of every 5 home fires start in the kitchen, with 31% of these fires resulting from unattended cooking. And whereas more than half of reported non-fatal home fires, cooking fires, and injuries occurred when the victims tried to fight the fire themselves. Whereas children under 5 face a higher risk of non-fire burns associated with cooking than being burned in a cooking fire. And whereas Ashland residents should turn pot handles towards the back of the stove, always keep a lid nearby when cooking, and keep a 3-foot kid-free zone around the stove, oven, and other things that could get hot. Watch what they heat and set a timer to remind them that they're cooking. And whereas residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires almost in half. And whereas Ashland's first responders who are here today are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas Ashland residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. And whereas the 2023 Fire Prevention Week theme, Cooking Safety Starts With You, Pay Attention to Fire Prevention, effectively serves to remind us to stay alert and use caution when cooking to reduce the risk of kitchen fires. So I, as mayor, do hereby proclaim October 8th through the 14th is Fire Prevention Week throughout this state, and I urge throughout the city, and I urge all the people of Ashland to check their kitchens for fire hazards and use safe cooking practices during Fire Prevention Week 2023, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of Ashland's fire and emergency services. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for what you do every day. Our commission and city is forever grateful. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mayor, we have one last formal presentation before I go into my notes, and that's the My Town TV presentation. Jeremy?
Hello, everybody. Thanks for including us in your commissioner meeting today. I'm Jeremy. This is Ashley, beard face, wifey. You might have seen us somewhere before. But we just want to thank you again for allowing us to be involved here and to be a part of this awesome commission meeting. But first off, thank you as well for selecting us for the opioid abatement disbursement funds that were dispersed throughout the city. We're excited to get this process underway. We're going to talk a little bit about what some of our plan is in this as we move forward. Oh, yeah, there you go. So, in our opioid disbursement proposal, My Town TV proposed to create a positive, hope-based ad campaign. This really is the whole point of this thing to us, and it's really actually one of my favorite things that we've got to do so far as My Town TV. One of the things that brought us all together was community activity, community involvement, and making positive change in the community, and not focusing on negatives, but focusing on positives. So that's a lot of words that say just about that right there. What we're going to do is basically create an ad campaign, all right, for that will address the opioid situation in the Ashland area. And we're going to do that in a few different ways. There's going to be video and graphic content, long form, short form video content and graphics. In addition to that, 2 public forums. We'll break that down here right now. So video and graphic ad campaign part 1 will focus on creating a number of videos, again, short form, long form videos that will be about the services that we currently have available in the area. We have a lot of nonprofits. We have a lot of folks out there that are already doing some pretty amazing things. And sometimes I think those things, either due to budget constraints or whatever, you can't always get that information out. So this gives us an opportunity to kind of join in with those nonprofits and lift them up and give them a little extra boost in what they already do. They're already doing it. Let's get behind them and promote what they're doing. Okay, so yeah, they're already operating things. So that could be Pathways or I don't know, Ramey E-Step. I hate to even just name, because there's so many that possibly could exist there. But definitely United Way's 211 services, even, for example, just whatever resources potentially there. My Town TV will conduct a survey internally on our side to find out what services and what organizations are doing what, and then we'll get that out there for everybody through our system. So campaign part 2, and this is the part that I'm really excited about. The other is, okay, yeah, that's great, and it's a good thing, but this is one that I'm really excited about. We will create with a video provider partner that makes really high quality video in the area. And I won't name drop or anything like that until I can get everything clear, because we're in the very early stages here. But this one's my favorite, because what we want to do with this part 2 campaign, part 2 will point to part 1, and both of it comes together. But we want to focus on some of our student athletes, probably previously graduated student athletes, to be able to come back and participate in a number of these videos that we do in this part 2. To encourage them, and in conjunction with maybe the city's DAR or DARE, not DAR, sorry, DARE, that's a different one, but their DARE police cars and different things like that. And then, of course, again, very early stages, but our goal would be to create some really cool hyper-local content that right now, sports is what we do primarily. So that would include some of those individuals. So as you're watching a game, then you will see some of these former graduates, if possible, current graduates, but there's some, or current students. There's some things there we have to watch out for as far as some different, not legalities, but KHSA and different things like that. So, so probably post graduate student athletes. Anyways, all right. So. Yeah, you could just imagine, you got the DAR cars, or the DARE cars. I'm just going to keep doing that now. The DARE cars, you got some of our student athletes, and they're sharing a message of hope and pointing to the fact that there are resources available, and they'll key off on our part 1 and focus back over to that. So part 1 and 2 will both focus on the creation of at least 2 long forms, so that's 60 to 120 second pre-roll videos. So this will occur before the games or anything ever start. You'll see our start slide, and then boom, as soon as it rolls up, you'll see a pre-roll ad that will that we have complete control over and everything that will run, and then the game and stuff will start. Now, throughout the games or shows or whatever we produce, we will also have short form video or commercial spots that will be added to that to again all point back to each other. And then there will be graphics as well that are included in that. And basically, that this ad campaign is one of our it's above our top tier advertising packages that we have. So you are on absolutely, or this ad campaign will run on absolutely everything we do. Every school, every sport, every pickup thing that we do. If we're honored to pick up something additional, it'll be on there. And so as many opportunities as we can to share this message of hope, and that there is hope after recovery. There is recovery, totally, completely. So to that, we will be adding hyper-local community forums, is what I call them. Yes. So what is that? That's a lot of big words. So really what that comes down to is 2 meetings. They'll be significantly spaced apart. So one earlier in the process, one later in the process, so that we can learn things as we go. But then and so they'll be hosted by a My Town TV person, probably myself or someone along those lines. And then, so picture a community or a table. We've got community leaders at that table, maybe city officials if that's possible. Definitely community leaders that have involvement in those opioid resources that are available, substance abuse resources, recovery resources that are available. They'll all be sitting down at this table together. There could be again, we're very early in the development stages, but there could be a bit of a public crowd there, or a public involvement, or we can do this in a number of different ways, so that it would be, the public aspect is that it's live streamed, and we'll get the questions and things from the public and that's what I see kind of things going right now, and we'll get questions and ideas from the public, and then have some things ready to promote during that. So again, included would be a number of community leaders from the local area. Leaders could include, but are not limited to the city, nonprofit leadership, spokespeople within those services that have substance use disorder services. Let's see, I already gave you the example of it, but the point of these meetings, again, are a controlled, educational, and hope-filled event. It's meant to promote and encourage. So these aren't, pointing out, we all know we have a major issue that we are combating. It's not about pointing out the issue, that's done. It's about how we go from here, where we go from here, what resources are available in a positive sense right now, and what resources are hoped for. Maybe there's things that can come out of that as well. So it's just to encourage community conversation and get that going. So the community forum invitees will be arranged and invited by MyTown TV, so we'll take on that burden. We'll find those folks. We'll go through a selection process, find out who we think is going to really communicate that positive message and really get that educational information out. Now, that doesn't mean just because someone isn't on the panel, or we have two, so there's a lot of opportunity to get some different folks out there. But that doesn't mean that if they're not there, what they're doing isn't going to be acknowledged in some form or fashion or promoted in other ways. We're going to do our best to make sure that we get as much information out, educational information out, that we possibly can in a hopeful way. Included in this forum could also be key citizens invited by MyTown TV to attend, and also other local press and the like could be in the room where we have that. So imagine a space, imagine a table. You got a host. You got the leaders, and then we just answer questions that are either provided beforehand or provided in the forum in some form or fashion. But the idea here is controlled, a nice controlled, or orderly, I guess maybe is a better term than controlled, but a nice orderly communication on the resources and things that are available in the community, and maybe hope for resources. Again, the key aspect of these forums are to provide education and hope, community or opportunities for city leaders to promote the efforts of opioid substance use disorder assistance that is currently available. Personal stories of success, that's something I also want to really bring in there, so we can start hearing, when you know someone else has managed it, someone else has made it through this, you can too. That means, I'm there too. So that's one of the big pieces that I want to have in this. And then real life instances of individuals using the services and what those services ultimately are. So the hope is to provide the city an opportunity to shine a positive light through these forums, or for MyTown TV to shine a positive light, I guess maybe is how I should say it, for the city on all of these positive resources that we have. So you will be seeing my face a lot, so I hope I haven't
And you
been...
won't talk any less.
Right, yes.
Just throwing it out there. It's not going to.
Right. I'm trying to go as fast as I can here, so I apologize. I know we've got a stacked agenda. So, but you're going to be seeing me a lot. I'll be here at least quarterly, and I'll let you know what's going on along the way. I wouldn't care to be here once a month as things are ramping up, and we are assigning the different roles or recording or different things like that. And as soon as we get videos produced, we can start sending them your guys' way and share it with the community what these things are. So we plan on being very vocal, very involved on with the city on the process that we are at and where we're at. And then we can provide, the cool thing about what we do is we have numbers for everything. So like I can see.
That's my job.
Yeah, she counts them. But yeah, so we have numbers for everything, and at any point we can show how effective that ad campaign is, how many people we're reaching, how many people are. All of the commercials, all of the graphics will have QR codes on them that will point to a website. That we will curate, and then that website will basically be a bunch of links that will take you directly to resources that are already available, and then even leave a little bit of a comment space if so if someone is wanting to suggest something down the road or something like that we can also pass along and just share. That's just an added thing to just communicate and know what's going on and what we can provide. So QR codes. We can get those numbers, so anytime someone scans that or clicks on those QR codes or links, we can track that information as well, and we'll be reporting that constantly, consistently throughout the process. So I know it was a lot, and I know it was fast, but do you have any questions? Can I answer anything? Because it was fast.
Well, just we're excited to have you and your team doing this for us. It's critical that we not just say that we should be doing these things. We have to put some money behind it, and the efforts that you're going to make targeting youth, I think, is critically important to us as a commission because that's where it starts. Yeah. And it's an issue that's facing our nation, not just our city.
Yeah.
So that's something I always want to remind people is,
Absolutely.
We're not the only ones, and the answers aren't easy. And if they were, we would have implemented those long ago. But I think what you're all doing is much appreciated, and we thank you for your time.
If you have any questions throughout the process or anywhere down the road, just you can just yell at us. I'm more than happy to provide any information.
Yes.
Thank you for your plan and your accountability to the city.
Absolutely.
And, I appreciate that. Even though you had a lot of information all at once, we had to turn down the air in the room.
That's fair. That's fair.
But,
I just want to say that's a lot of bang for the buck.
Right.
It's a lot,
Well,
so.
yes, thank
I don't
you.
think you're making anything.
That's
But
not really
anyway,
the point.
we're so happy you're in Ashland.
Well, thank you.
We really are, because you're community-minded, and we're really glad that you're doing this.
Well, and I'm not just saying that because of what you said. I actually forgot to say it before we ever started. You guys do an amazing job. The city as a whole, from the fire to the police, we are honored. We live in Ashland, and we are honored to be a part of the city. From things as far as what Ms. Meek is doing to just this is a beautiful, wonderful city, and I am so honored. I can't say it enough. So honored to get to be a part of this. This is like one of my big passions. So thank you.
We get a lot of credit for work that other people do, and I can tell you the police and fire are amongst the best in this nation.
Yeah,
And we're so appreciative of all of our citizens and our city workers, and we thank you.
Thank you, guys.
thank you for coming to Ashland. You've changed the whole complexion.
Yeah, you really have.
Thank you.
Of Ashland in your service. And my opening remarks, I forgot, you're for the first time in history, you're going to televise the Kiwanis Bowl.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's this
Next week.
Thursday, and the
Yeah.
kids are real excited about it.
Yeah.
And you're televising all the games, all the area games here. It's just changed the whole complexion.
Yeah.
So we thankful.
Thank you so much. Any way we can help our community or our kids, that's what it's about. That's what we do.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
guys. Thank you for your time.
Just a reminder, Mayor and Commissioners, this was one, I believe, of 5 of the opioid organizations of a total of $378,000 that you all approved, and this is just one part of that. A couple more things before moving on. Next slide, please. Just we've got the hazardous household waste cleanup, and you'll notice the dates on there, the 13th, the 14th, and you see the times, the locations give you down at the city garage. You'll see a complete list of everything that they can take, the acceptable items on the city webpage. I've got a list of about 50 things here. I'm not going to write it down or tell you all, but just I'll say a couple that might prompt you. Bleaches, floor cleaners, fluorescent tubes, herbicides, oven cleaners, paint thinners, paint, pesticides, wood strippers. So those type of things we'll be taking down there, and we'll ensure that they get disposed of properly. Next, please. The next thing is this is just an update on the Winchester Avenue improvements. I believe we've mentioned here before, we have every other week we have a meeting of the progress that's going on. You can see what they've done in the middle of the median out there on Winchester from 13th to 18th Street. There is going to be a nighttime lane closure. It's going to be from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. to not have impact on the businesses. The two specific things they're getting down there is one of our local committee heads, Marion, had mentioned that during our festivals we always have the water hoses that go from the south side to the north side. Marion had an idea that if we put an underlying water line in, then the people on the north side could have water without us having that tripping hazard out there. So it's just one small example of things that we're doing on the fly on this project that make a lot of sense. And there's also some conduit that need to go in that the contractor is going to do. The median is going to start to be filled this week. Please don't panic when you see the height of that, because after everything is said and done, it's not going to be as pronounced as it looks in the construction portion of it. But you're going to definitely see those, or likely see those comments. And then as they do the cement, the concrete work, there'll be a limitation to some of the parking spots. It's going to be rolling. And if Eden hasn't already spoken to those businesses, she will in the very near future to let them know as it rolls on. Next, please. Okay. There we go. One last thing, it's that time of the year when we ask for the city's help. Two big issues: trash can placement, ensuring that the city doesn't look, pun intended, trashy by leaving our trash cans out when they shouldn't be. By ordinance, they're supposed to be set out no earlier than 5 p.m. the night before trash pickup, and then picked up by the end of the day when the trash is picked up. And also we're starting to see some increasing issues with people putting grass and leaves down the drains. You can imagine that, and as you see up there on the slide, it causes a lot of problematic issues that can be avoided if folks just follow the ordinance, and please just bag those, or ideally, as Sean has taught me, just mulch them and put them in your yard. A couple last things I want to mention. Winter Wonderland of Lights, more than likely folks have seen those going up in the park, and also the streets and the Parks Department have done a magnificent job. If you haven't been down to the riverfront and seen the landscape cleanup they're doing from the bridges back to the statues, it's pretty magnificent. Also want to thank the water distribution. Last week we had a pretty significant break out on Highway 23. If you'll remember, 6 years ago and 4 years ago approximately, we had similar breaks out there. We had 5,000 to 7,000 citizens without water. Over the last couple years, we've put new water lines on Belmont, Simpson. We've hooked up to DeBoer Tower. And as far as I know, we didn't have any citizens that were without water because of basically the backflow that was put in by the city. So I just want to say kudos to, Henry's not here to do a kudos count, but I want to give kudos to the team, the engineering department, and everybody for getting those in. And one last thing, for the Cosmic Holler Festival that's going on next weekend for veterans, Lieutenant General Dan Karbler, the Space and Missile Defense Commander, is going to be here as a special guest speaker. On Friday at lunch at Bombshell and Ales, he's going to have just an open lunch for veterans. So anybody's interested in meeting General Karbler, he's a great guy. I've known him for probably 30 years. He's just a great person to meet. So if any veterans are interested in that, there'll be more information put out on the Visit AKY site. Mayor, I believe that's all I have.
All right, thank you, City Manager. Public participation is next. Anyone with a comment or request may come to the podium and address the commission concerning matters related to city business, services, or personnel. Comments related to election issues or concerning personal disputes will not be allowed. Personal attacks, threatening language will not be tolerated. Presentations are limited to 5 minutes. Only one speaker is permitted per subject. No action will be taken at this meeting. Those with comments are asked to fill out an inquiry form and leave it with the city clerk for proper distribution. Would anybody like to come forward at this time? Hearing none, we were going to move on to old business, but I do want to relieve the fire department of their duty if they don't want to stay. I do ask that our fire marshal stay so that we can present the proclamation at the end of our meeting. Okay?
There goes the crowd.
Thank you, guys.
Exactly.
One statistic while they're walking out that I found out this past week, you guys can go on.
Hey, Carl?
So there's 119,000 World War II veterans who are still alive,
Yeah.
and 131 approximately are dying per day. So that gives about 2.4 years before there will be no more World War II veterans. So if you know one, thank them.
Thank you.
I saw two
Thank you for
yesterday
that.
at the Elks Old Timers Dinner.
Yes.
97 and 96.
Did you get their names?
Gene Maddox is one.
Okay, Gene
Oh, yeah.
Maddox,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah,
gosh.
Gene Maddox. Was Jack Knuckles there?
He may have been. All right, on to old business.
Old business, item A, second reading and final adoption of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and General Contracting Services, Inc. for the Ashland Fire Department Station Number 2 roof project in the amount of $297,867.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda, a resolution of the City of Ashland, Kentucky adopting, authorizing, and approving the course of action presented by the city manager on the items appearing on the consent agenda for the regular meeting of the Board of City Commissioners of October 12th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
New business, item A, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and Tri-State Fencing, Inc. for the purchase and installation of a fence at the Ashland Cemetery in the amount of $116,640 for the Department of Parks and Recreation."
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah,
Oh,
just, what kind of fence is it? Is it a black wrought iron, or what is it?
What's that?
I think he just stepped out.
Aluminum?
I saw it the other day, it's just a fence.
Mike, respectfully, it's not just a fence, it is,
Chicken wire.
it's the
It's like the
painted,
aluminum one?
Yeah, I've seen a picture, I didn't read that through, it's massive.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion?
Powder coated was, I was trying to think of.
Kind of was in the omen.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item B, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement between the City of Ashland and Van Art Properties LLC regarding an encroachment for the placement of a trash dumpster located on Cypress Court on the city's right-of-way."
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item C, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement between the City of Ashland and the City of Russell, Kentucky to furnish potable water and distribution and sale within its water distribution system and repealing ordinance number 50, series of 1976.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item D, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute an agreement between the City of Ashland and the Highlands Museum and Discovery Center, Inc. regarding the donation of $100,000 by the City of Ashland to the Highlands Museum and Discovery Center, Inc. for the Clark Family Discovery Center."
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item E, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Ashland and a mechanical construction company for the WTB geodesic dome tank cover project in the amount of $890,000 for the Department of Engineering."
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item F, first reading and approval of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Ashland, Kentucky amending the authorized positions list to add one part-time operator, 1 through 4, in the Department of Utilities Division of Water Treatment Plant of the Classification and Compensation Plan as adopted by ordinance number 31, series of 2023, as previously amended."
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item G, reading and adoption of a municipal order entitled, "Municipal Order of the City of Ashland, Kentucky granting permission for the planting of daffodils on certain properties or rights-of-ways located within the City of Ashland."
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Norma, you got it.
Item H, reading and adoption of a municipal order entitled, "Municipal Order of the City of Ashland, Kentucky authorizing and directing the mayor to execute a donee acknowledgement regarding the Community Trust Bank parking garage."
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I have a request to go in executive session for individual personnel matters. Do we have a
Mayor,
motion?
1 second.
Yes.
May I bring up an item of new business before we go?
You may.
Thank you. Typically, we move the November meeting, and I'd like to ask that we move that meeting to November 16th.
Okay, we have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now let's motion
Thank
for
you.
executive session.
So
moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We're going to go into executive session. Only an individual personnel matter will be discussed. No action will be taken. Thank you all for your time. All right. Record reflect that we've returned from executive session. Only individual personnel matters were discussed. No action was taken. Is there any motion at this time?
Yes, sir. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to reopen grievance number 42023.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this time, do we have a motion to go back into executive session?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Do we have
Oh,
a second?
Yep.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Record reflect that we once again have returned from executive session. No action was taken, only the individual personnel matters were discussed. Do we have a motion?
Yes, sir. Mayor, I would like to deny grievance 042023.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.